Happy Tuesday. It's time for CHGO Blackhawks. Today we're going to focus on the Blackhawks defensemen, especially Wyatt Kaiser. We've got some mailbag leftovers. We're going to ask Katie about Taylor Swift. All that next on CHGO Blackhawks. Welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks podcast. I'm Jay Zawoski. That's Mario Terabasi. Katie Duffy's here running the program for us today. She can hardly get right. She can't sleep. Tomorrow's Taylor Swift day of some kind. We'll get into that later.
She's not on this podcast, despite our many efforts.
Or is she? Stay tuned to find out if Taylor Swift is here or not.
We're going to post a picture of her silhouette and say... Potential guest, question mark?
Who could it be? No, it's just Tony Gill. Anyway, thanks for being with us. We appreciate it. Do us a favor, hit that like button for us. Make sure you are subscribed to our YouTube page as well. And if you're listening on the podcast, follow, subscribe, rate, review, all that good stuff. It's kind of funny. Go. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, I was going to say, I have a quick question.
Yes.
Is the saying hi something you grow out of? Like as a grown man, if you answer the phone and was just like hi, is that different, or is it like hey, how's it going? Hi, hello.
You mean the actual
just
the
saying
word
like
hi?
Yeah, if someone called you and you picked it up and you said hi, how do you think that they would respond?
I don't know. I say hi all the time. I think.
Yeah.
I've really thought about it though. Usually when someone calls me that I'm very familiar with, be it wife, daughter, I'll usually say hey or what's up or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I say hi. I don't think I don't say hi though.
Like if you addressed an email, would you say hi?
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to my texts and I'm going to search the word hi.
Perfect.
And see how many times I've said it.
Katie?
I'm starting a poll right now so
Perfect.
people can vote.
I'm glad that this derailed the entire
I want to know what brought this up though. Like why is this on your mind?
as some of the many great thoughts that pop into my mind. It was an Instagram reel that talked about how as you grow up, different things you just don't say anymore. And one of them was hi, and I was like, wait, I had the same kind of do I even say hi to people that are I'll say hi to little kids. Like Jake's got his daughters here, and I was like, hi. But if I were to say hi to another grown adult, would I do that, or would I say hello more properly, or hey? Because I'm a chill guy.
Interesting. You are just a chill guy.
Just a chill dude.
Going through my texts, I have found that the only people I say hi to in a text are boomers.
Ah, okay.
So it's my aunts and uncles.
Your elders.
Say hi. Are you going to be home later today? I got to drop off XYZ.
Yeah.
But I don't say hi to anyone my age or younger.
Let me do that search.
I had never really thought of this.
Hi.
Fascinating.
Pulling up 0 texts in which I say hi.
Well,
yeah, I guess it's just something I don't say in text form, at least.
I'm going to now pay attention to this every time I greet somebody.
Good.
As of now, we're 1 minute into the poll, and no is winning with 56%.
All right.
As doesn't.
Yeah, it was just a simple, do you say the word hi?
Interesting.
Yeah, I think I'm generally more of a hey person.
Yeah, if I send an email that's not super formal or a message to somebody that I'm initiating conversation, I don't think I say hi. I think I say, maybe I do. I feel I don't really.
I feel like I'm using it to deformalize a formal question.
Yeah. Hi.
Hi, I need the following info from you. I don't know. All right. Let's just do this instead.
Oh, you know what? I do say hi when I initiate trying to book someone on the show. I'll say hi, name, yeah, okay. But these are people that I don't have a personal relationship with.
Yeah.
So maybe instead of being like hello and formal, because these are Twitter DMs, like how formal can you be?
Yeah. Interesting.
I don't know.
BJD says I have generational code switching. That's true. That is.
Yeah.
That's 100% true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a thing.
Anyway,
What were you gonna say?
I was saying it's interesting how yesterday we spent a lot of the Mailbag show discussing Wyatt Kaiser.
Oh yeah,
And it
hockey,
sort of
that's right,
happened
yeah.
organically in the chat. And then Travis Yost today of TSN did his talent tiers of NHL defensemen. So tier 1, tier 2, 3, 4, 5 from top to bottom. Went through every team, talked about every team. Not surprisingly, he has the Blackhawks as 4th tier. And I think that might get some people a little bit like, wait a minute, the Hawks have a really promising D-core. They do, but they're not proven.
No.
There's a lot to be shown here by the Hawks D-core, so I don't really have a problem with them being in tier 4.
You know who they're ahead of? The Vibes.
The vibes of the Sharks and the vibes of the Ducks.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I think this is fair for where they're at. The only guys that you know for sure about are Connor Murphy and Alex Vlasic. And even the quote-unquote know for sure of Alex Vlasic is I don't think he's a fully formed NHL defenseman yet. I think there's still a lot for him to tap into. Connor Murphy is who he is. But other than that, like there's a lot of just unknowns with the guys ahead. And what you know of them so far, yeah, you wouldn't say that they're elite or anything like that. So I think that being in that 4th tier going into this season, that makes a lot of sense.
I feel like when Travis Yost does this again next season, they'll be in tier 3 or tier 2. That's my prediction.
That would be great.
You're going to get a full year of Levshinov, or Rinzel, probably more likely.
And
potentially a full season of Levshinov.
Yeah.
If I'm betting on the two, I'm betting on Rinzel, but I think they both have a shot. And those two will prove like, oh, wow, this is really something to write home about here. But interestingly, in Travis Yost's breakdown of the Hawks, he brings up Wyatt Kaiser. He says, a name worth watching in Chicago, Wyatt Kaiser, in last year's utterly futile season. Kaiser was a Swiss Army knife, playing well despite an unrelenting change of pairmates and forwards in front of him. But amidst the challenges, the Blackhawks played to a -1 even strength goal differential in the entirety of Kaiser's minutes, juxtaposed against a staggering -55 even strength goal differential with Kaiser off the ice. With his first full season behind him, I expect Chicago to put a heavy workload on Kaiser inside of their top 4 as they continue through the rebuild. Now, I think there's some context here because Kaiser didn't play all 82 games. 57 games last year. Did finish even on the season, which is remarkable considering where the Hawks were overall in goal differential.
yes.
But I'm not trying to take anything away from that. I you know, as we were talking about yesterday, I just don't know where he maxes out. Like, does he have room to get better? I think so.
Mm-hmm.
But when you talk about Levshinov and you talk about Rinzel and you talk about these guys who we think of as elite defensive prospects, you can point to 2 or 3 traits that kind of separate them from the others. And Kaiser's a really good skater. He is a very intelligent player in terms of knowing where to be, knowing where to play. He's rarely caught out of position. I also have been impressed with the fact that when he does start to struggle a little bit or things get a little too out of control for a young defenseman, he can go back to Rockford for a little bit, reset, and come back stronger than ever. He's incredibly confident. It's always interests me to hear what people out of town have to say about the Blackhawks, and to see Travis Yost mention Wyatt Kaiser as, of all the names that we've talked about in this D-core, he's got Wyatt Kaiser as a player to watch. I think that's really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you look at it in an analytical sense, the minutes played, he was averaging just over 18 minutes a night. The different situations he played in, and you look at, okay, plus minus, how do you factor that? Some people put a lot of weight in it, some none. The analytical breakdowns of, goals against, Corsi, expected goals, all that stuff. Like, he's one of those guys that I think benefited from that analytical base. Mm-hmm. And I think when you kind of plug and play some of those analytical numbers into these formulas, you get like positive player cards and positive value. And, we were talking before the show, a site that I just learned of today called Bench Rates. They rate players based off of their contributions and their values monetarily, what it would be. Kaiser was a $4.5 million contributing defenseman last year based off of those markers. Yesterday we were talking about cap wages, and their projected contract for Wyatt Kaiser is a 6-year, $5.4 and change million contract. And it's just like, well, all of the analytics would say, like, based off of his numbers and all that stuff, would say, like, yeah, that would make sense for that kind of defenseman. But it's kind of like, okay, well, what if he played 20 minutes a night? What if he was on more penalty killing responsibilities? What if he had, tougher matchups throughout an 82-game season rather than 57 games where he didn't play a congruent 57? He was up and down between Chicago and Rockford at times. That all kind of has to factor in. I think the other thing is who's he playing with. His top 3 defensive pair mates last season were Connor Murphy, Seth Jones, and that was at the beginning of the season, and then TJ Brody were his top 3. So now playing with Murphy, okay, that's fine. Doesn't have the option to play with Seth Jones anymore, and doesn't have the option to play with TJ Brody anymore. And you kind of look at it, it's like, to me, it kind of feels like this season is a fresh slate for him, because maybe they play him with Connor Murphy, but I don't think you need to, because Connor Murphy's probably going to be taxed with playing with a guy maybe like a Kevin Korchinski if he makes the lineup,
makes the team.
Or maybe like a Del Mastro, and then you have like a true like shutdown defensive pair. So really, it's just like I think when you look at Wyatt Kaiser, you look at his confidence in himself, in his game. You look at the steadiness and kind of like quietness that he brings. Like, he doesn't do anything too crazy offensively, but he's just pretty reliable defensively when called upon. And it's kind of makes it hard to like project out like, okay, well, what could he be? Is he going to be a Gustav Forsling? Probably not.
You know what though? Someone brought that up in the chat too. That's a really interesting name, because when he was here, I'll just talk about myself. I saw a guy who looked good. I'm like, he looks like an NHL defenseman to me. Like, again, nothing jumps off the page in terms of like X factor. If we're talking in NHL terms, like blazing speed or powerful slap shot, but like just does a lot of little things right. And now Forsling has taken the things that he had in Chicago and then in Carolina, and he's built on all of them. And now he's really good at kind of everything, and has become one of the better all-around defensemen in the NHL. I could see Kaiser. Now, look, that is we're talking lofty, like ceiling, max out potential here, but I could see Kaiser on a similar trajectory to Forsling, where, man, he was never really talked about as an elite prospect. Never really, like, when you're projecting the core 5, 6, 7 years down the road, maybe a name that doesn't come up from everybody. Mm-hmm. But all you do is you watch, and the eye test shows you, like, this guy can play. And you don't always have to have this first-round pedigree to be a guy that can play. As we were saying yesterday, if you were with us yesterday, I was when I say I don't know what Wyatt Kaiser is, it wasn't a criticism. I just don't know. Mm-hmm. I don't know what he's going to be, but I don't think a poor man's Gustav Forsling, or maybe a rich man's Gustav Forsling, is out of the question. I see a lot of similarities in their game.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think if you have a guy that you can put out there and you don't worry about, that's a big thing. Now, obviously, it's Hall of Famer, but you had that with Duncan Keith. You almost never paid attention to him on a more day-to-day basis, because it was just like, well, you put him in the lineup, you know exactly what he's going to do. I think with Kaiser, he could have that ability to be put into the lineup and know, okay, is he going to put up 60 points? Probably not. Is he going to be, a Nicholas Hjalmarsson type of defensive stopper? Probably not. But can you put him out there and rely on him to give you 18 minutes, not turn the puck over, be aggressive in battles, be positionally sound, and be able to move the puck and, play in transition? If he can do all of those things, there's nothing to say he can't be an everyday NHL guy.
All right, let's continue this conversation on the other side of the break zone. If you've not done it yet, do us a favor. Please hit that like button for us. Make sure you're subscribed. We'll be back in 120 seconds on CHGO Blackhawks. What is Sunnyside? Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary is your home for judgment-free cannabis shopping. That's what you're looking for. If you're a noob, if you're a veteran, whatever your experience level is with cannabis, Sunnyside is the place to be to elevate your summer. And it is still aggressively summer outside. If you're looking for something to help you sleep, how about the Good News Counting Sheep? I take half of one of those every night. Sleep like a baby for the first time in my life. Mindy's. Taking a Mindy's edible is like taking a warm bath. It's delightful. Get yourself some of either of those. Cresco, FloraCal, also great brands. Visit sunnyside.shop for bright buys every day, including 50% off your first 3 online purchases. Enter the promo code HICHGO at checkout to qualify. Exclusions apply. Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary. Bright buys every day. Only for 21 plus or Illinois MedCard holders. And if you're an existing customer, use promo code CHGO50 for 50% off one Cresco Labs brand item.
And like Jay said, it is aggressively still hot.
Correct.
You need to make sure that your air conditioning unit is up to par with our friends at Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. They've been serving the Chicagoland area for over 50 years. Last year was Chicago's hottest summer on record. I think this summer we are trying to break that record. And with Four Seasons, you can make sure that your AC is ready to go. You can get a tune-up today and save $50 and enjoy a 1-year no breakdown guarantee. Your trusted local experts are Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. Visit fourseasonsheatingcooling.com for all of their special offers and money-saving coupons. Again, that's fourseasonsheatingcooling.com. And the rain is on the way today. Make sure your electric is good for your sump pumps.
Make sure your wires aren't exposed.
Make sure your power lines stay nice and protected.
Intact, yes. All right, we're back on CHGO Blackhawks, continuing the Wyatt Kaiser conversation. Jason T says Kaiser has battle and GAF, and I'll need at least a second rounder for him because I think his intangibles are very tangible.
I'm not disagreeing with that. I think, Kaiser is one of those guys that has that self-confidence in himself, believes, any task you can put in front of him, he's going to try and match that. And I think that is something that you need. And not to say that he is undersized, but he is the smallest defenseman that's going to play in this season for the Hawks as far as like NHL standard guys.
6 foot 173 according to NHL.com.
Yeah. So again, he's not a small defender, but when you talk about everybody else that's in the group with Renzel and Vlasic and Del Mastro and all those guys, he's the smallest of the group. So I think, but he still has, as Jason says, like, you'll see him go into battles. You'll see him go in and try and play physical in front of the net. There was a play last year where he, ran over Connor McDavid. Like, he's got that ability to not really feel like he's got to back down from anything. So I think that's, again, like between the ears, that is something that can help you be, put yourself above somebody else that, may be a little bit bigger than you, but maybe is more reliant on just the fact that, well, I'm big, I'm going to win the battle. But if you go in there and saying like, no, I know X, Y, and Z tactics of how to use leverage, and, maybe you getting to the puck faster than someone else is another way to win a battle. It's not just physically pushing somebody off the puck.
Well, it's also, it's a willingness too. I want to go do that. I want to go win the puck. Like, we've seen a lot of big guys that don't play big. We've seen a lot of small guys that do play big. So right. I'm not so worried about stature as much as the ability to do it. And you're right about the speed. That is one of the things that when you do talk about these big defensemen the Hawks have, Kaiser does bring a little bit different of an element. I think this is a great year to see what you've got from Wyatt Kaiser. I think he plays 82 games. If you're talking, it's just tough because there's so many defensemen that you feel are ready. Vlasic's in for sure. Yep. Murphy's in for sure. You feel like Renzel's in for sure. So then you've got, probably. That's 3 right there. You got Levshinov, you got Korchinski. Crevier's on a 1-year deal, or a one-way deal, so he's going to be up here. And then you've got to sort through, you've got Del Mastro, and you've got Allen, who also had significant NHL time last year. If I'm starting it today, my 6 are Vlasic, Murphy, Levshinov, Renzel, Korchinski, and Kaiser, with Crevier as the 7th.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate that.
What do you have to lose?
That lineup, yeah, and I think the fact that he's on primarily a left side guy gives him an advantage because Murphy's in on the right, and if Levshinov and Rinzel are in, that's your 3 right side guys there. By
the way, Cap Wages has this. Last year, Kaiser spent 65% of his shifts on the right side. 65% to 35% on the left. Crevier is he left-hand shot?
Crevier is a right
okay,
shot,
yeah, so he played 100%. They do have the splits here for guys that divide time.
The data from Left Wing Lock says 86% of his starts were on the left side last year.
Okay, well, someone's got bad info.
I think he was primarily on the left side.
Because it says
he did.
What is that for Vlasic?
They did
there?
line him up. They did line him up on the right some games. Let me find Alex Vlasic.
Because I'm just seeing it's got Vlasic at 66.8 on the left, 33.2 on the right. I just want to see who's off and where it's off. But either way, he is
Alex Vlasic, right?
Yeah, he is.
No, this is Wyatt Kaiser. Why did it?
He's capable of playing on the right side too.
He
so
can.
There's some flexibility there.
Why is it okay? Left Wing Lock. Fix your website.
Just the only question is like who's with who, and I do like if Korchinski's making the team.
Alex Vlasic had a 100% of starts on the left side.
Well, then Cap Wages
for his
is drunk.
NHL career.
Okay, well, then Cap Wages is drunk. Never mind that comment. But I would put Murphy and Korchinski together. I think you take your least reliable defender in Korchinski with your most reliable defender in Vlasic.
So yeah, and Kaiser had time with Levshinov last year, late in the season. If you break down his defensive partners, that was one of the pairings that he had in the fourth quarter of the season. So I think there is some time spent with those guys there. Look, if you went Vlasic, Rinzel, Korchinski, Murphy, Kaiser, Levshinov as your top 6, I don't have any problems with that.
No, and there's going to be some games where you get waxed,
and
it's fine.
Well, yeah. There's going to be growing pains no matter who you throw out there, whether it is Del Mastro or Allen or Korchinski, or like whoever you throw out there is going to go through some growing pains. But that's what you have to go through those to get to the point of figuring out who is who at the NHL level and what they can do. I like that lineup. I think that's balanced. I think you have a guy who's offensively minded and defensively minded on each side. And you have someone that, if Rinzel wants to be adventurous offensively and have that green light, Vlasic is there to be there as a safety valve. If you want Korchinski to do that, Murphy is there. If you want Levshinov to do that, Kaiser is there. I think I would not hate that lineup. And I think it's flexible because you can say Del Mastro and Allen can be more safety valve guys if you want to pair them with a Rinzel or Korchinski or Levshinov. Like they could also play that role as well.
Someone in the chat asked, what does this mean for Nolan Allen? Like, what is his path? His path might not be this year. I mean, that's and he played fine last year, but when you dig into the analytics for Nolan Allen, he's one of the worst players in the league analytically.
Analytics and context sometimes.
Sure, of course,
they don't intersect.
But I just wonder where this is what we're talking about with like this surplus of dudes is you've kind of, and I feel like Del Mastro and Allen are kind of samey, and once Connor Murphy has moved, maybe it's this year at the deadline, whatever, there'll be another spot open for one of those more defensive-minded guys, but I don't know. Like, so that's we talk about this a lot. Like, something's going to have to give in terms of all these defensive prospects because you just don't have enough roster spots to play them all.
Yeah,
and if they're comfortable leaving Del Mastro or Allen sitting in Rockford to over-ripen simply because of a numbers game, okay. I think though at some point you're doing the player a disservice.
At some point, yeah, but I don't think that that's going to be too much of an issue because those guys are still under 23 years old.
Right.
So there is still, getting some mileage under their belt that is necessary. And who was it? Chris Pronger when he was, I think he was talking on the one of the Daily Face-Off podcasts. Might have been the morning cuppa with Colby Cohen and Johnny Lazarus. He was talking about, like, you kind of don't know what a defenseman in the NHL is really until they've played 300 games. None of these guys, other than Connor Murphy, has played 300 games in the NHL. So there's still a lot of time to kind of figure out what they can do, what they can be. Duncan Keith, Brent Seabrook, both of those guys took some time once they turned pro to figure out what they could be, and they obviously had Hall of Fame or Hall of Very Good careers. And I think there's still a lot of untapped potential defensively with this group. And you know, I think if you have a Del Mastro or an Allen or both playing on the top pair in Rockford, I mean, that's still very valuable. That's what they've done with some of these. That's what they did with Kaiser last year. You know, they didn't want him sitting if he wasn't going to get in the lineup, and they wanted him working on things, so they send him down and have him play 20-plus minutes a night in Rockford, play on the power play, play on the penalty kill. You know, get those minutes, because that's going to do you more service than being the seventh defenseman and not finding a way to get you into the lineup and working on those things, because practice only brings you so far.
The other thing kind of that we're all waiting on with Wyatt Kaiser is his contract.
Yes.
Still not signed.
This is a player we all assume is going to be on this team.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the holdup is. I know there's some other RFAs sitting out there in the league too, but to me, Kaiser feels like, as you were looking at the RFA situation for the Hawks, like a big priority, and it hasn't gotten done yet. I don't know if there's any reason to panic. I know they've been using him in some social media videos.
He was just in the pickleball video.
I know that he's been he was one of the ones with Foligno out in at the ice cream shop.
I believe so. Yeah. I mean, I don't think there's any reason to worry, but it is a little weird that it's like, you know, August 12th and we're still kind of like waiting on it. And they got Crevier done quickly. They avoided arbitration with Soderblom.
Yeah.
You know, it almost felt like the easiest one that you'd pencil in for sure would have been Kaiser over those two.
Well, I think, though, he has probably a stronger argument than any of those guys, because we are talking about the metrics and the value and all those things. And we know the Hawks are a team that they emphasize analytics. They are all in on it. They have one of the biggest hockey ops departments in the league with a big focus on analytics. So Wyatt Kaiser knows that, and he can go to them and be like, the numbers I just read from Travis Yost, hey, they're minus 55 without me. They're minus 1 with me. Like, the analytics are showing that this is what I deserve. The cap wages.
He probably keeps pointing to the cap wages projection. It's just like, no, this is the number.
Their projection is either 3 by 3.208, so that's a bridge deal, or 6 by 5.479. I don't know. Are you comfortable giving him 6 years at 5.5?
No.
I don't know if I'm not there yet.
That would make him like the highest paid player on the team.
Yeah, no, well, that's true. After Shea Weber, of course.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not ready to commit that kind of money. But maybe he's just saying, like,
I think a bridge length deal makes more sense, because you still have to figure out where he and all these other defensemen stack up in the organization. And Del Mastro and Allen, I think our RFAs next summer. I think Korchinski's an RFA next summer.
Yes, that's true.
You know, you gotta find out where these puzzle pieces fit. So if you have Kaiser on like a 2-year deal, that kind of gives you some time to kind of be like, okay, figure out your spot alongside all these other guys. You know, Vlasic signed a 6-year extension. He's already this will be year 2 of that extension.
Yep.
So again, you have to find out where all these puzzle pieces fit. Man, think about it, with Murphy, if they trade Murphy this year, or they just don't re-sign him,
UFA after this year.
yeah, they're gonna have probably one of the cheapest active player defensive cores in the league.
Yeah.
With Vlasic being the highest paid guy at $4.1 million.
That's crazy.
Assuming, yeah. That's so they got to. This is just evidence of like why August. You just want to pish-posh it away and just get to September so we can get to training
Give me to
camp,
my DeLorean
so we can get some
immediately.
answers to these questions.
Yes. Well, if you have a DeLorean you can set it for 2 minutes from now, and we'll be back with more on CHGO Blackhawks. Speaking of puzzle pieces, we have some info on how the Hawks coaching staff is going to align, who's going to have what responsibility. Stick around. That's coming up next on CHGO Blackhawks. Baseball season is underway. You better get... No, I can't do that. That's copywritten. But if you want to go to a Major League Baseball game, you got to use our friends at Game Time. They are the official ticketing partner of CHGO Sports. It's awesome. Browse through the Game Time app. Look for their great deals. You can go from game to game, team from team, venue from venue, however you want to do it. Maybe you're looking for a concert. Whatever you're looking for, it's the best place to do it. They've got those seat views from your seat. The fees are included, so you know your total upfront. How about the Cubs and Brewers next week at Wrigley? A 5-game series. Monday, get in. Monday and Tuesday. $36 gets you into gates at Wrigley Field for a pivotal series against the Milwaukee Brewers. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the app, create an account, and use code CHGO for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, use code CHGO for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last-minute tickets, lowest prices, guaranteed.
You all know that moment, the one when you realize you left your favorite sunglasses at the beach or on the roof of your car or at the gas station 3 states away. We've all been there. I've been there. I had a pair of sunglasses hooked onto my collar during a boat day.
Yep.
Tried to tie off the boat.
Yep.
Bloop, right down to the bottom of Fox Lake went the sunglasses.
Bloop.
But Shady Rays, they've changed the game. Their sunglasses are made for real life, seriously good-looking glasses, polarized, durable, and not stupidly expensive. And the best part is, if you lose or break them, even on day one, Shady Rays will send you a brand new pair with no guilt trips, just replacements. So now you can actually wear your sunglasses without fear anywhere you go. We have teamed up with Shady Rays for a long time. And
Yep.
right now they are bringing you an exclusive offer. You can go to shadyrays.com, use the code CHGO, and you're going to get 35% off of their polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself. The shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people.
All right, do us a favor. If you've not done it already, hit that like button. We had someone in the chat say, where's the like button? It's the thumbs up button. It doesn't say like on it. It's a thumbs up icon. We've got one right here on our set, if you can see it, right there in the middle, right above the Die Hard box. So hit that, and that helps us out big time. You might wonder, why is the like button important? It helps us move up the algorithm. It helps people see that we're here, that people are watching, that people are enjoying. Also, so does subscribers on YouTube, so make sure you do that. It helps us out every show.
Yes.
Hit the like button. And from all your various accounts, because I've got my personal Gmail. I've got my Homewood Baseball Gmail. I've got my CHGO Gmail. I've got the I'm Fat Podcast Gmail. I go to all 4 of them and like every video from all of them every time. So if you see a video, hit that like button. It helps us out big time. And if you want to help us out in other ways, you can become a diehard at allchgo.com. Free shirt or hat when you sign up. 20% off all of our merch. Our golf outing is sold out.
Yep.
Next Friday, we're going to be out at Cog Hill. It's going to be a good time. Golfing in a group with James Naveau and Charlie Romeliotis. I know you've got a group going out there too. So
Yeah, me,
watch me chase my balls.
me and Stucky and my dad
Katie.
and someone.
Can you?
Golf balls.
This is a family
Golf balls.
program, Katie. I don't need the face. It is a ball.
I did not love
Jeez.
that, Jay.
Do I have to call it a golf sphere?
Yes. Thank
Okay,
you. I would
just-
appreciate
Yes.
that.
Just very immature behavior from Katie Duffy.
It's a Callaway.
Yes, Chase. I don't. You know what? I don't spend that much money on golf balls because they all just end up lost anyway. I get the noodle.
I was gonna say noodle. I was gonna say either noodle or Kirkland.
Whatever they gave me for finishing last 2 years ago, I still have those. I'll bring them to the golf outing. No, it's gonna be a good time. But again, if you're a diehard, you save 20% on all of our events, and we are in the process of getting some of our takeovers at the United Center.
Yep.
And we don't have any dates confirmed, but I'll tell you, Spencer, who runs the events for the ALLCITY Network, has some high aspirations for some games you're going to want to get to, Taves. So become a diehard. So when that goes on sale and we announce it on the show, you are not like, wait a minute, they're gone already? They were on sale for 20 minutes. Yeah,
That's
they're going to
how
be
it
on sale for
happens.
20 minutes and gone. That's how all of our events go, especially these high-profile ones.
It is.
So jump on that, become a diehard now, and you won't have to worry about, oh, God, I got to sign up. And by the time you actually complete the fill in all the blanks, put in your credit card, the tickets are gone. Do it now. Get it out of the way. allchgo.
It really is a speed game at that point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You want to be ready. You got to be logged in.
When we announced the takeover for Kane's return game, and that was we learned that in September, and we were like, we got to figure that out. We had to get it finalized and all that stuff. We flipped that over real quick. As soon as those were available, I think that was the show that it was like we announced it at the beginning, and by the end of the show, they were like, we have like three spots,
literally
available
3
out
or
of 20.
4.
Yeah,
and I would say our takeovers are typically maybe like 20 seats, 25 seats.
Yeah, I think we usually do about 20, 25, depending on the type of takeover event we do.
But think about that.
That's
That's like 10 people buy a pair and the tickets are almost gone.
Right.
So
yeah.
you've got to get on them quick. But we'll let you know as soon as we know. We announced them on the show, so there's your incentive for joining us live. Mm-hmm. We got some time yet, but just be aware. Become a diehard now, and you won't have to worry about it. All right. Mm-hmm. Ben Pope caught up with Jeff Blashill, new Blackhawks head coach, over the last couple days. I don't want to spoil the entire thing. What?
Friend of the program.
He is.
Jeff Blashill.
Not Ben Pope, though.
No, Ben's been on the show.
He doesn't like us. He told me.
He told you?
No, it's not true. But we've got our roles for the coaching staff. Ben Pope says new assistants Michael Pekka and Mike Vellucci will oversee the forwards, with Pekka also coaching the penalty kill and Vellucci the power play. Anders Sorensen will oversee the defensemen.
Makes sense.
A role he previously held in Rockford. Long-tenured goalie coach Jimmy Waite retained his position.
Oh.
So there you go. There's
I was wondering what they would do with Jimmy Waite.
So Pekka, PK in forwards, Vellucci power play in forwards, Sorensen defenseman.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. That was their assignments elsewhere. I know Vellucci was with Pittsburgh doing the same things in his previous stop. Michael Pekka, as his career went, was one of the best defensive forwards of his time. So it makes sense that he would be a guy that's going to run the defensive forward role of, penalty kill and run that. Sorensen is... It's interesting because we've had a lot of talk and discussion about, this defensive group, especially, today and this offseason with how many guys are going to be part of it, how many guys are going to be, figuring out the NHL and getting a lot of opportunity. What's great is they're doing it with continuity. All these guys, Kaiser, Levshinov, Rinzel, Korchinski, Dalmasha, all of them, and Vlasic, have played for Anders Sorensen, whether it was in Rockford or Chicago or both.
Both, yeah.
So that is a really nice additive of having Anders Sorensen stay with your coaching staff and be with the defensive group, is being like, these are still like his guys. And I think that's a big thing. And not to say that having Vellucci and Pekka in the fold is going to change much with as far as, who do you trust, like anything like that. But at least for the defensive group, it's not an unfamiliar voice, not an unfamiliar personality that you're dealing with directly. And then, of course, you have Blashill as the head coach overseeing everything else. But I think that's a really good piece of the defensive conversation, is the continuity over the last few years can be a positive for that group.
Well, I think if we look at one thing that this organization has done well since Kyle Davidson took over, and even slightly ahead of that, was they developed defensemen pretty well. You feel pretty good. I mean, we just spent the first half hour of the show talking about, we have too many stud defensemen. What are we going to do here? You know what I mean? So, and I think a lot of people, the cynics, would say, Blashill was forced to retain Anders Sorensen. I don't think that's the case at all. I think if you're coming into a new place that's been rebuilding, a lot of young players, having somebody with some continuity that's not going to be a problem for you personality-wise, isn't going to be power-hungry, trying to take your job, trying to climb the ladder. I think Sorensen is very content in the role he has. Obviously has a good rapport with all the players. At the end of the year, on exit interview day, all the players praised him as a guy, as a communicator, all those sort of things, including Connor Bedard, including, Nick Foligno, went out of their way to say really nice things and good things about Sorensen. And we saw last year, guys didn't necessarily have to do that. Mm-hmm. They don't feel the need to say, I feel like players feel that that's their chance to kind of express their true feelings, because first you're going to have some separation from that person for a few months. So if you do say something that's a little bit salty or crusty, whatever it might be, there's going to be some time for it to wear off or be forgotten about before you see him again.
True, yeah.
But also you've got your hockey ops department sitting down every single player saying, here's what we thought of you. Now, what did you think of us? What did you think of Kyle Davidson? What did you think of Anders Sorensen? And it's supposed to be an open forum to share your thoughts. So I think those days players have the ability to be honest, and almost to a man, Sorensen got praised. So I think having that consistency with him back will be helpful for Blashill, saying, hey, and if there's a guy who's like maybe you can't figure out, man, what makes Alex Vlasic tick? Sorensen could say, well, in my experience, he's responded well to this, and this, and not so much this, and this.
Yeah.
So
it's a good resource to have. And I think too, like, Blashill's come into this opportunity. It seems like he, by all accounts, from everything he said, in his introductory week, he did the press conference. He was here, getting to talk to him. Like it really does seem like, the time spent in Detroit, the contrast to the time spent in Tampa. Just the way that the direction of the organizations were, the atmospheres that they were in, the situations he was in. It really does feel like he's coming into this opportunity with a renewed vision of what being successful in the NHL is going to take. And he's taken it upon himself to kind of get things started already of getting to know the players. In Ben's article, he talks about, how much he's reached out to the guys over the summer and, gotten to know them and, is going to hit the ground running once training camp starts. And I think that's kind of how you have to do it with this group, where there's going to be a lot of focus on some younger guys coming into the lineup and battling for lineup spots, not just the defensemen but the forwards as well. You got guys like Oliver Moore and Ryan Green and Aiden Thompson, Colton Dock, Samuel Savoie, like these guys that are going to be in these position battles. Landon Slager, like there's a lot of young guys that are going to try and push for NHL ice time, and they're going to do that against some veterans that have a stake to claim to those roster spots. So there is going to be competition. There is going to be a lot of proving that you're worthy of those minutes. So I think that's what you have to do. You can't just hand these young kids positions and say go for it. You're an NHL guy. You got to earn it, and you got to have that atmosphere of just like, you're going to do it. You're going to have to battle. These are the things you're going to have to do to be successful in this league. And it's not going to be you're the best player on the ice, you're just going to get by on skill. It's like you have to have the habits built in of what's going to be successful and, take some time to break out of those things that you might have been able to skate away with in college or in juniors. And we're seeing that with Connor Bedard. Like 2 years in the NHL, he's still breaking out of some of those junior habits that, we've been saying, like, hey, like that toe drag release every shot doesn't really work.
Don't need it.
You can't go 1-on-3 in this league as easily as you did in the WHL. Like there's those habits you have to change and mold and break out of. So,
well, if you listen to what Blashill has been saying, and that's really all we have to go off right now, it's all about earning your spot. And in Ben Pope's piece, Blashill says the first system we'll implement will be our back-checking track. The reason for that is, one, it's a work ethic indicator that will show how willing our team is to work. That's the first thing he's looking for.
Yeah, is
who is going to go out there and earn a roster spot. And I like the fact that they're not saying these are the 12 most talented forwards and the 6 most talented defensemen and go figure it out. Winning hockey is the term that he has used over and over again since getting hired. And it doesn't mean getting 2 points every game. It helps. That's part of it. But it's more of a mindset of finishing checks, winning board battles. And if you've been looking at Lucas Reichel on Instagram, he posted some of his training videos. He is very much along those boards, learning how to win puck battles, retain the puck.
Yeah. Like
the message has been sent to these guys, and I don't know. I think that Blashill has no real loyalty to any of these guys. Like, Bedard's going to be here. Nazar's going to be here, of course. But like a guy like Lucas Reichel may have more talent than a lot of the guys on a team. But if he's not going to come out and give consistent efforts every night, he's not going to play. And he might not play for this team. So I can't effing wait for camp to start. I'm so
I know.
tired of talking about it.
I know. We've just been.
I want to go see a puck. I'm just gonna go to Fifth Third and just be like, there's a puck
Just
on
go
ice.
hang out and just watch
Just wait.
whatever hockey league is playing.
I don't care what it
It
is.
could be mites. It could be the rad hockey session. Whatever
That's
it is.
I did that during the lockout. Like
yeah?
when there were no games, I lived in Palos Heights at the time, and I just looked at my wife and go, I'm driving to Southwest Ice Arena. I don't even care who's playing. I'm going to watch somebody do hockey.
Yeah.
And I stayed there for an hour, and I got the sights and I got the smells. I'm like, all right, good. The scratch has been itched, or
Nice.
the itch has been scratched, and yeah, hopefully it doesn't come to that.
Yeah, I don't think it'll come to that. Training camp starts in like 4 weeks. I think we're almost there. If you're really hungry for it, my rec league starts in 3 weeks. So you can come out to Crystal Lake and watch those games.
So Windy
high
City
quality
Hockey
hockey.
says, when will the prospect showcase be? Ben Pope says, training camp will occur sometime during the week of September 15th through 19th. Rookies participating in the annual Tom Curvers Prospect Tournament will report the previous week. So the week of, what would be that, the 8th through the...
the Curvers is
14th.
is first. I think it's like the first week of September.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go.
It's in Minnesota.
We're getting there.
almost
It's close.
Almost time for the Culver's Classic.
Yes. Can't wait. And the stinky guy from Minnesota.
Oh, man.
All right, before we get to
I
our
don't think
remaining
he stole
mailbag
it.
questions, for us old guys, Katie, can you explain to us, like we're 5 years old, the Taylor Swift situation? What is happening tonight? What is this orange sparkly stuff?
First of all,
What is
Yeah.
what is a Taylor Swift?
I am
What is Taylor Swift?
so thrilled that you just asked me that question.
Yes.
You were the first person who asked me about it today, so
Really?
thank you for that. I
man.
appreciate it.
Give me a Barry Horowitz pat on the back.
Yeah. So basically, what happened was Taylor, not her page, but a page that her team runs.
Taylor
posted-
Nation.
Taylor Nation.
I'm
Taylor
familiar.
Nation.
Of course,
Look,
yeah.
See,
yeah.
you guys know stuff.
I get their newsletter.
I have a daughter.
They posted on Instagram yesterday saying, like, remember when Taylor said, see you next era? And it was 12 photos. Now, remember the number 12. That's important. It was 12
Okay.
photos of her
Peter Regan.
in orange outfits on the Eras tour.
Orange.
12 is the number of the album. And this is her 12th album.
Okay.
So 12 photos, all in orange. Then, like 12 minutes later, 12 minutes before, I can't remember the order, New Heights, which is Travis Kelce's podcast,
Familiar with
put
them.
out a little graphic that said we have a special guest on Wednesday with a silhouette of what was clearly a woman who was obviously Taylor Swift.
Obviously.
And then like a few hours later, a countdown appeared on Taylor's website, which expired at 12:12 Eastern, like early this morning.
11:12 Central.
Exactly. So I didn't have to stay up too late.
Beautiful.
And when the countdown ended, it announced on her website that her next album, her 12th album, is called The Life of a Showgirl. And then New Heights put out a teaser clip confirming that, yes, Taylor is the guest on the podcast that will be dropping tomorrow, and that they're probably going to reveal the album cover tomorrow, because in the clip she pulls up like the album and shows it to them,
But
but
it's
it's
blurred.
blurred
Saw
out.
that. It's blurred out. Is
So
she
she's
is she
nude on the
is she
cover.
naked on the cover?
I doubt it.
Life of a Showgirl,
I highly
or it's
doubt
about
it,
Jesse.
yeah.
from
I
Saved
was
by
going
the
to say,
Bell.
is it about that terrible movie that always plays on TBS?
Showgirls, yeah. What's the point of it on TBS?
It's a waste of time.
But yeah, everybody is very excited. I'm
All right.
very excited.
What's
Now-
the significance of orange? Because I wore my orange shirt today.
Well, number one, congrats. I didn't have any orange because I was not at my house. I'm
Put on
like
the,
dog
we got a
sitting.
Bears jersey
So
over there. The Dexter, Jervon Dexter
Put
That's
on the
jersey.
true.
Tyson Bagent jersey.
Put on the orange helmet.
I could put on some orange, but basically, like every era has its own theme, like color theme. So, like
So
the
orange.
red era was red.
Oh, that makes sense.
Okay.
Lover was like pastels, like pinks and blues.
Like a heart.
Tortured Poets, which was the last era, was black and white. Like
Uh-huh,
everything has its own thing. So, the Life of a Showgirl is sparkly orange.
Sparkly
from what we've
orange.
seen.
All right,
so
that's
far.
exciting.
Okay.
Now I'm trying to think of I was trying to think of the last time I was this excited about something being released musically, movie. Do you have one that in your life you were like, I am counting down the days until this thing happens?
Man.
I'm going to shout out the
Counting
date for
down
mine. I'll see if Matt Peck can get it.
Counting down the days till something gets released.
Hold, please.
I
No.
not the
It is
anniversary
today.
of the Black Album.
That was the year where I was breathlessly awaiting a release of an album. September 17th, 1991, the Guns N' Roses Use Your Illusion albums came out, which was like the biggest album release of my lifetime in my wheelhouse of music. I think to this day, it remains like the biggest thing. And I remember I had to do all these chores around the house to like get the money to go get them. And my mom actually got them for me while I was at school.
Oh, that's cool.
And then kept them for me until I had completed said chores. I never worked harder or faster in my life.
That's a good parenting move. Man, I don't know. I don't know that. You know what? The most recent thing that I got excited for the countdown to was last summer, College Football 25.
Oh, that's a good one.
I mean, that's pretty
good.
I was knee deep in the college football video game series growing up. I owned every one of them from 03 to 14. And then the 10-year absence of not having that series was like, it was tough. So when last year's game release came out, I was extremely excited. So that's what I would say. Yeah.
All
right. So we don't know the release date yet. We're thinking it's
correct. It is sometime between now and October 13th because the pre-orders of the album said they would ship by October 13th. So that is all we know. There's a 2-month window.
Did you pre-order?
No, I'm not a vinyl person, so no.
All right, fair enough.
Do you think they will also announce that they are married on the podcast tomorrow?
I don't think so, but if you really want me to go into my Swiftie brain here, I think it's really telling that
they blur out her ring finger?
No. But like she's never been this involved with a partner before. So I think this is a really big
Really? Never this involved?
Publicly. Because like her last relationship was super private. The only person she's ever posted about on social media before Travis was like Calvin Harris, and she cheated on him. So like that obviously didn't work out.
Interesting.
So yeah, I think it's really like telling of how strong their relationship is.
I think they're already married.
Why bother?
That's my conspiracy theory for the day. I think they're already married.
Change the logo says, which Use Your Illusion did you listen to first? 1. You got to go in order. I listened to 1, then I listened to 2, but 2 is better. I like Use Your Illusion 2 better. Maybe I'll listen to that on the way home. All right. Let's get to these final mailbag questions, and then we'll wrap the show up.
That is probably the most Taylor Swift we will talk about until the album drops.
Until October 12th.
The full listen-along
when Katie comes in here covered in glitter from pulling an all-nighter from listening to the new album.
All right, mailbags.
Featherhead88 says, mailbag question, which would you rather have, 4 or 5 stud top 6 forwards, but a bottom 6 that's a liability, or 2 stud top 6 forwards, but the bottom 6 is one of the best in the league? I feel like this is kind of perspective of the Sharks versus Hawks rebuild, and I kind of see it as a difference between the Oilers and Panthers today. Thoughts? I personally will always choose depth over top heavy. Always.
Yeah, I think if you're looking at a team that is built with high quality players, but no one that is just like, oh, they're a top 3 in the league kind of thing, you look at the Panthers, and they have depth everywhere. Forwards, defensive group, they have an elite goaltender. Like that is what gets you through a season into the postseason, and that's what gets you over the hump in the playoffs. The more top-heavy lineup, I wouldn't say Oilers, because even Oilers, the depth that they've had has been pretty good. I look at like Toronto. Like Toronto before Marner was gone, you'd say they have 5 guys in their top 6 that you're like studs everywhere. And then their third line was like anchored by David Kampf. And it's just like, okay, he's not a third line center.
No.
Like, and defensive depth has been piecemeal for them over the years until they got Jake McCabe. So I think if you're looking to be the team that is going to be consistent and be able to play that winning hockey, as Jeff Blashill has said, leading up to being the coach of the Blackhawks and everything, you look at the Panthers and you look at how they've done it.
I mean, you don't need to go that far locally. You look at the Dynasty Hawks, who, of course, had Jonathan Toews and Patrick Kane and Marian Hossa.
They had top 6 studs.
But you had Dave Bolland and Marcus Kruger and Chris Versteeg and Andrew Shaw, and like all these guys that played a very important role. Like you had guys that were playing under their slot instead of over it.
Yeah.
And I'll take depth over that. And look, those teams were blessed with both. They were top heavy and deep, which is the dream. But yeah, give me depth over star power any day. You got to have at least, I think you got to have at least one star up front, and I'm talking star, all-star, annual all-star up front and on defense to win a championship. But give me team depth over top heavy any day of the week.
Yeah.
Good question. I like that one.
Kevin in the chat says, I've been trying to find it the last few days how to enter a mailbag question. Well, Kevin, if you are a diehard, that means you have access to the diehards only Discord channel, and through that Discord channel we have the diehard mailbag subsection of the channel. You can throw in questions there. We always leading up to a mailbag Monday, we'll put out a tweet on Twitter from at CHGO Blackhawks asking for mailbag questions, so you can reply to that tweet as well. That is a way to do it.
We also have an email, Blackhawks@allchgo.com. I just have to remember how to sign into it.
I think the password is probably still the same password we were given.
1, 2, 3 password?
Yeah. 1,
but
2,
the
3,
O is
4,
a 0.
5. Yeah. There you go.
All right, we got one more mailbag question to go. Let's do it. This from Null at Null 64 _ Null.
Okay.
Seems legit.
There you go.
Build your starting lineup with your favorite Blackhawks players ever. 3 forwards, 2 defensemen, 1 goalie. So this is favorites. Not necessarily best.
Well, my favorites are the best.
Okay, fair enough. Go ahead.
3 forwards. I'm going to go with Taze down the middle, Patrick Kane on the right side.
Do I have to do center and wing? Can I have 2 centers?
You could have whatever your little heart desires.
Okay.
You can have 3 Peter Regans for all you want.
Awesome.
I'll go. I'll have Taze and Kane, and I'll throw in. I'm going to throw in one of the guys that was one of my favorite Hawks when I first became a fan, Eric Daze. Throw him in there.
Okay.
He can try and catch up with those other 2 and be a playmaker for him.
Sure.
My 2 defensemen are going to be Duncan Keith and Dustin Byfuglien, and my goalie is going to be Corey Crawford.
Okay. I'm going Taves down the middle. I'm putting Probert and Roenick on the wings just because I love Bob Probert. My D pairs are Chris Chelios and Duncan Keith, and my goalie is Eddie Belfour.
Solid.
I like that team. That team would win some games and punch you repeatedly.
I think they would win some games.
I mean, Probert, Roenick, and Chelios on the ice at the same time. It's happened before. Yeah. Lots of not good things for the opponent.
Yeah.
Chelios is a guy, when we did our War Games thing yesterday, someone in the chat brought it up, and in hindsight,
that would be a good pick.
Chelios was, for a guy as talented as he was tough and mean and just one of the baddest ass hockey players ever.
Yeah.
I'm looking at his career high in penalty minutes.
He'd be the guy to start the match and be able to finish it.
In his Norris Trophy, one of his Norris Trophy years of 92-93, Chris Chelios had 15 goals, 58 assists for 73 points, and 282 penalty minutes.
Dude, that's crazy.
282 is a career high for him. To the year before, 245. The first year he won the Norris with Montreal in 88-89, he had 185 penalty minutes, very well behaved. His third Norris in 95-96 had 140 penalty minutes. I believe was 95-96 the year he led the Hawks in scoring too.
That would make sense. Yeah.
I believe that is correct.
Yeah.
Let me see here.
What was the?
Yes, Roenick missed
missed
a handful of games.
What was the penalty minutes that Norris year? 282.
282.
Okay, for context, the penalty minutes leader last season in the NHL was former Blackhawks legend Nikita Zadorov with 145.
That led the league?
That led the league in penalty minutes. If I'm looking at this correctly, regular season, yes, 145 penalty minutes led the league.
And AJ brings up in the chat that Chelios holds the record for most penalty minutes in a game with 37. I do believe that's correct. And Chelios was not just like he was a cheap shot, cross-checking in the face.
Oh, it was all legal back
slash
then.
you. I mean, he was an absolute beast. So I should replace Enrico Ciccone with him.
In the last 20 years, only 2 players in the NHL have had more than 282 penalty minutes. Zenon Konopka
Yep.
in 2010-2011 with the Islanders, 307 in 82 games. And in the 07-08 season with the Phoenix Coyotes, 324 penalty minutes in 57 games with 24 points. Former Blackhawk Daniel Carcillo.
Okay. I do want to mention Enrico Ciccone, by the way, because he was a forgotten Blackhawk, at number 39. And he was bad, make no mistake. His career high in penalty minutes was with Tampa Bay, 258 in 55 games. But listen to this. His last year in the league, 2000-2001, he played 3 games with the Canadiens. Mm-hmm. He averaged 257 of ice time and had 14 penalty minutes. In 3 games, in 2 minutes and 57 seconds of ice time,
wow.
He had 14 penalty minutes.
So he stepped on the ice,
took a penalty.
Stepped on the ice, fought, stepped on the ice, took a penalty.
He was in the box more than he was on the ice that season.
Yeah.
That is impressive.
Wow.
All right, we're going to wrap things up. We are back tomorrow. Would You Rather Wednesday, always fun. And hopefully it's Wyatt Kaiser gets a contract Wednesday. Let's make it happen.
Let's go, Kyle. Come on.
All right, we'll talk to everybody tomorrow at 2. Thanks to Katie Duffy for running the show and teaching us about Taylor Swift. We'll talk to you Wednesday at 2 right here on the CHGO Blackhawks podcast.
Y'all see